Yeah, that's what I need. That's exactly what I need. So I get home from work, I'm out front cleaning out the truck, sweeping up in front of the house, you know, keeping the house looking good and presentable. My neighbor comes up and says, "Hey buddy, I'm cleaning out my shed. Look what I got. You want?" Of course, I say yes. And the price was right. Free. That one needs the carb cleaned. It's leaking over the overflow, so likely it's got a stuck float. That one's perfect. It just has a little out of the fender. This one has a broken frame, runs like a champ. But the rear section of the frame broke. See, the rear axle is not supposed to bend like that. Little welding project to put that back together. I have every part for this one except the seat pan. I don't have a seat, but apparently they run like a champ. All of them are 50cc. Yeah, that's what I need. More projects. I envision a, because these two are ready to go like right now. I'm envisioning a little drag race thing going on. I'm sure I've got a neighbor that would partake in some hot laps up and down the street. This one may just end up being a parts rig. Hard to say. Hard to say. He says he has the front fenders for this too. And like I said, I got the wheels. The carb's off of this right now, but I got the carb and the coil and all the other parts. All the parts that came off of this are in a box. That's what I need. All right, let's get to the real meat and taters of this video. Oh yeah, too, and my neighbor just brought down, I'm putting these bikes away in the backyard, and he brings down a 3.5 ton floor jack, a nice power built floor jack that works perfect. He just has like 6 of them. He's a mechanic, and somehow stuff migrates to him. So it's a 3.5 ton floor jack he gave me, and a 10 ton bottle jack, brand new bottle jack. Well, he says he has 5 of those, so I could always use that. Always use that. So I got some leftover plywood from something, some scrap crap I'm gonna put together and make a little carrier for all this, to put all this together, or a box or something. Yeah, aeroplanes. Oh, I did drill out the intake port, 7/16 hole. I don't know what you can see that, but that goes probably within, oh, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch of going all the way through on the hole. And I have a feeling that's going to improve the airflow in, so that should speed up my fill time. Because, you know, this thing's like, what, 1 1/8 or something? 1 1/8, 1 1/4 thick. I forget exactly. I don't feel like getting a tape measure out. But nonetheless, it's thick, and I had that 5/16 hole, I think it was 5/16, or whatever that little bitty hole is right there, going through the whole thickness of this. And that could potentially have choked it down. So anyhow, I ported out the intake, and we'll see how that works. Oh, that's just way too much thought went into this process for something this basic. Instead of trying to talk over the compressor. What was I saying? Oh yeah, my buddy Jimbo. Ooh, my buddy Jimbo pulled this out of an RV that he was scrapping. He thought this was a 12 volt to 110, an inverter, but actually it's a converter. It converts 110 down to 12 volts, or actually 13.4 volts at 55 amps. That's a monster. I could power all kinds of monster 12 volt stuff like that in the house. So right on Jimbo for dropping that off. Where was I? I looked through my inventory of completely useless parts. That doesn't belong there. It's garbage. My inventory of completely silly and useless parts of bushings and bearings, and I found some rubber feet to mount motors. So I've got a computer fan here that's wired. I told you guys, I spent way too much time on this. The computer fan is wired into the pressure switch. It's going to blow straight down on everything, starting with the head. I just ran it for like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's kind of warm. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I just hooked this up right now. I didn't run it with this. But anyway, who cares? It's holding pressure at about 108 psi. I don't know how specific that really needs to be, but it is what it is. I put it on some rubber little feet sickles right there. Let me see how well can you see that, which keeps this kind of flexy, which is all right. My concern with building a wood carousel would be that the vibration of this would be amplified through the wood. The wood would be like a amphitheater for this. I didn't want that. So I put little rubber feet sickles, and then subsequently I ran my 1/4 inch OD DOT air brake line because it maintains pretty good flexibility. I was going to run copper in here because I have still some of that copper left, the new stuff, but I didn't want the rigid line, any vibration here. I didn't want to create leaks. Basically, I'm putting way too much time and energy into this, so I pretty much don't ever have to think about it ever again. And my plan is to use, there we go, pull that one off. My plan is to use this port for the air horn. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, one of the ports will be for the air horn. One of the 3 ports will be for the fill, of course. One port will be for the gauge, just so I can see that everything's pressurized. And if I need service air out of this, I could just pop this out and hook on a tag line to fill tires or to fill the bags in the back of my truck. I have some of this air hose here. This is air brake hose off a semi-truck that I use for this little crappy Campbell Housefield direct drive, no tank deal. But I may, and I use that for filling tires, and that's pretty convenient, but I may put a quick connect fitting on there and kind of dedicate that airline in the truck to work in conjunction with this if I ever need it. I don't know, but enough talking. Let's put this thing in the truck and let's see what it does. So today being, what is today? Today's Thursday. Oh, that's nice. Another scratch of the paint. Today being Thursday, this pressure system was installed. I did that last video on Sunday, and it had like 75 pounds of air left in this tank. Let me clip my keys to my belt so I don't lose it. Where are we? Oh, look at that. Oops. We're at about, I don't know, about 75 looks like. Cool. So that's neat. Then that means that I don't have any air leaks in the system or this tagline. That's pretty cool. That's a good thing. So, yeah, there's still air in here. At least it didn't all bleed out. That makes me happy. So, let's put that thing in its place and see how it sits in here. Huh. That's almost like I had it planned in my head that way. And I kind of did for like a minute, but you never know until you start building. I like it. I don't always run with this plywood in here. Normally I've got these pieces of carpet square scraps to cover the carpet to protect it, even though, as you can tell, I use this as a truck and the carpet underneath isn't perfect, but I still don't want it too funky. And then when I put real funky stuff in, I put this piece of plywood in here, but I had not even measured it. Look at that. I hadn't even measured it. This is 4 feet wide. It fits right in between the fender wells. I can fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the back of this thing easy. I don't know how well you can see it. It's kind of dark in there. If I pull the 3rd seat out and flop the seats forward, I can fit 4x8 sheets in here. Okie dokie, artichoke, check it. So she's all wired in, plumbed in. I ran a relay. I've got a number 10 wire running back here on a 30 amp circuit, although I know that's way overkill, but that's just the way I build stuff. I've got a 40 amp Bosch relay being triggered by the ignition switch, so this thing will turn on and off with the key, so when I walk away from it, it won't inadvertently turn on if for some reason it develops a leak in the system. And it's remarkably quiet. It's remarkably quiet. I'm very happy. So let me set you on the tripod and we'll get you a little test shot here. So that's how you're looking at it. I should probably paint this whole thing black, and in reality I'm probably going to paint it now that I know everything works. The wood doesn't need to stay natural wood. Tank doesn't need to stay that bright yellow. It's never going to be used as a dive tank again. And the computer fan too. Oh man, I did wire the computer fan on to the switch. It works like a champ. Oh, it just fell out of the truck. There we go. About 110 psi. Aluminum tank. A little bit warm. Probably ran for about 7 minutes. Started out at about 40 psi or so. I think is where it started. Oh, there's no head temperature on this thing. The fan works like a champ. There you go, kids. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See ya!